I think we ought to be mindful of the tiny things, the details. Someone said the devil's in the details, but really he's not. He's not in the details. He sees you as a number. When the Antichrist comes on the scene, he's going to give you a number. That's all he cares. You're just a number to him. But God is in the details of our life. I've seen him do big things, but sometimes it's the little things, the detailed things, the catered just for me things that blow my mind. When I think of Calvary, it was God reaching for us, and it was such a big thing. This man, Jesus Christ, the expressed image of God. This man, Jesus Christ, who was 100% human, except he never committed a sin. He had the body to commit a sin, but he stayed fully submitted to the Father. And he was sinless. He was capable of sin, but he didn't do it. And he continually moved in submission to the Father. And the writer Paul said that in him dwelleth all of the fullness of God bodily. I love that verse, that in Jesus, all of the fullness that God is was somehow compounded and put in that flesh man, one human being named Jesus. All of the Godhead bodily was manifest in him and through him. They took him to the cross, the brutality of human hatred compiled with the brutality of demonic hatred. I believe there were hordes of demons that were swirling around Mount Calvary. I believe they were whispering into people's ears, into the soldiers and into the bystanders, whispering, slap him, hit him. They ripped his beard, they beat his back. I could almost see in my mind demons whispering, hit him harder, spit on him, slap him. Drive the nails in his hands, stab him with the spear, drive it deeper and harder, hurt him. And then we come to the verse, chapter 19, verse 25. And there standing by the cross was his mother. And I don't know what she was thinking. Let's put ourselves in her shoes for just a moment. And you're just going to have to stay with me. I'm going somewhere. We're going to get there. But let me tell you what's on my heart. I saw it like this week. I saw Mary standing there looking up at the cross. Her son. I wonder where her mind went. I wonder if her mind went to the first day that he was born, and how that on the 8th day, she and his stepfather Joseph took him to the temple to be circumcised as the law demanded. And there was an old prophet in the temple, the Bible said, that had been given a word from God that you will not see death until your eyes behold the Messiah of Israel. And think of it, when Joseph and Mary walked across the threshold of that temple and walked into that building, you have to understand the glory of God had left the temple. When the Philistines stole the Ark of the Covenant and it was never returned, and for over 600 years, there was no glory seen in the temple. But when they brought that little baby across the threshold, the glory came back to the temple. And I don't know where he was. I don't know what he was doing, but somewhere in this story, Simeon turns. He feels the glory of the presence of God is in this place. What is going on? It's tingling with his presence. And he walks over and he sees this young couple standing there, and the baby's wrapped up, and he takes the cloth and looks at the face of the baby. And suddenly he knows that he knows that he knows, my eyes have seen the Messiah. And he says, now I can die in peace. The Messiah has come to Israel. And then he starts to leave, but he points his finger and he says, and a sword to Mary, the mother of Jesus, and a sword shall pierce your soul. I wonder, as she was standing there at the cross, at that moment, could it have been that one of the soldiers stabbed him in the side and pierced him, and the blood and the water poured forth? And I wonder if in that moment she thought, is that what he was talking about 33 years ago? That a sword would pierce my soul, it feels like it. I wonder if her mind went somewhere else. I wonder if it went to the first miracle Jesus ever performed, and how that he was at the party, he was at the reception of the wedding, but they had run out of wine, and his mother said, they've run out of wine. I've watched you. And I don't know how she knew he could do miracles. He had never done a miracle, but I'm going to preach this sermon. It's my sermon. I can preach it like I want to. But in your imagination, in my imagination, I think he might have practiced as a little kid. He might have had a dead cat or something around the house. And I can't prove it, but I've got a feeling he touched a skint knee and it instantly healed. And then he just said, just be quiet about it. But somehow she knew this boy's got miracle power. He had never done anything publicly, but mothers just know. And she looks at him and she says, do something. And he says, woman. First of all, he's on dangerous ground. Woman, what does this have to do with me? Listen to him. My time has not come. And she totally ignores him and turns and says, whatever he tells you to do to the servants, do it. Now do something. And she triggered him. Look at this. She triggered him. He clearly said, this is God. And this mother said, I'm taking my authority over you, little boy. And I've done a lot for you, including changing your diaper. And now that I want something out of you, get to it. And Jesus stepped right up and turned the water into wine, and thus began the miracles that would change the world. I wonder if her mind went there.